Hi and welcome back. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sojo, and this is my channel where I talk about all my quilty stitchy things. And today is my weekly update number 59, and it is April 7th, 2024. Now first of all, I'm kind of recording here later in the evening. I usually record mid-afternoon, so the lighting's kind of off. But, you know, life gets in the way sometimes. But speaking of that, over the next few weeks, I've got a lot going on with the kids and being close to the end of school. My daughter's almost graduating, so I may not be putting out quite as many videos just until all that's done. I still gonna put videos out, but maybe just a little bit less. Just because, like I said, I've got a lot going on. So this week I had quilted a quilt. I put the binding on 2 more quilts. I finished my March sampler of the month, and I finished my crochet wrap, and we'll take a look at all that here in a minute. Now this coming week, what I would like to try and do is do another one of Lori Holt's quilt seeds. I think I'm going to try and do this sewing machine. So hopefully I can get that done and get some videos up with that. But like I said, I've got a lot going on with the kids being close to the end of the year, and I'm working just a little bit more, so we'll see. But that's my goal, is to try and get that out. Now this week, I also got my hair cut. I'm not really liking it, but that's okay. It'll grow back. And I got new glasses this week, so I just gotta wait for them to come in. I did that this week too. So let's talk about what I quilted. Let's hang it up and we'll take a look at it. Okay, this is what I quilted on the long arm. Now this is, I believe it was called Bliss, but this was the block of the month that came in the Fat Quarter Shop Sew Sampler from April of 2022 to March of 2023. So I know I had pieced the top a while ago, but I just got this on the long arm this week, and what I quilted it with was a flower pantograph that had some leaves on it. We'll go in a little bit closer here. Let's see if you can start to see a flower right there with some little leaves there. And I chose that because there's flowers and some leaves on some of those prints. Let me back up here again. Now, in addition to getting that quilted, I also put the binding on 2 quilts. This first one, I'm not going to hang up there. I mean, I'll hold it up and show you. But this is the next one. And this was embroidered, the center of that. Now that was colored with some crayons and a heat setting technique, and then I embroidered it. And it says, "Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow?" And my binding on this is a scrappy binding. So I just took all the leftover fabrics from these half square triangles here. And I put that scrappy binding all the way around it. And there is my label. So that's the first one I put the binding on. Now the second one I will hold up because it's quite a bit larger. But let's see. That brings my total for the year. So I have quilted 11 quilts this year, and I've put the binding on 11. So that's where I are. Now I have a goal to quilt 50 quilts by the end of the year. Looks like I'm falling behind on that, but who knows what the summer holds. All right, let's look at that other quilt. Now this is the other quilt I put the binding on this week. Now this quilt pattern is Country Roads. Let's see, Meg's Choice Patterns. Now this was a pattern that I got from a shop hop over in Indiana last year. And here it is. I had quilted it previously, which I'd shown on a previous weekly update, and it's quilted with a paisley pantograph because some of those prints have paisleys in it. And I just put the binding on this week, and we'll go ahead and take a look at it in just a minute. Now, I just so happened to look outside when we were hanging this up, and it's kind of almost dusk. It's still a little bit light out. And there's some birds out there right outside on the sidewalk, because this is kind of in the front of the house, this room, so I can see outside. And in that sidewalk, that little line that goes there, I have two birds standing, one on each side, and they're both just stopped looking at each other like it's some sort of like crosswalk or something. It was kind of funny, like they're like waiting for somebody to tell them to go. Now my husband said that's because they're mad because he had to tear out their nests because they built a nest in my husband's truck engine, so he had to take that out. There wasn't any eggs in it. But anyway, I just thought it was funny that the birds were literally just standing there like looking at each other like, who's gonna go first? Like, how dare, who's gonna cross that line? Anyway, let's get back to the quilt. So, like I said, this is Country Roads, and we'll go in, take a closer look at that quilting and binding and everything. Okay, so there it is. Taking a look. There is the binding. With the borders and binding that's coming down. And there's that paisley pantograph. Is what I put all over it. Now, as my husband was hanging this up for me, he asked me, "Is this yours?" And I said yes. He goes, "Oh, well, I like this one." So I guess that means I get to keep this one. All right, now let's at the label. And there's a look at my label and the backing. And I did work on 2 other quilt projects this week. The first one I worked on was the Legendary quilt pattern from Elizabeth Hartman. Now, I have already had this Sasquatch block done for a while. I worked more on these trees. And here we are on the trees. I've got the little tree stump here, tree trunk pinned on, and then these are 2 pieces that are pinned on. See, I got pins there, pins there. So I almost got all of those trees together. Now my trees, unlike this, are all, I use different fabrics to make it a little bit more scrappy. So we did that. I did that. And let me pull my Sasquatch block out. And this is what that Sasquatch block is looking like. So after I finish sewing those trees together, we can start assembling that into the top. That is getting done. So tomorrow, Monday, is the solar eclipse. Now, we are supposed to be in the path of totality, so we should be able to see it. But let me know in the comments down below. I'm just curious. Are you guys also in the path? Are you going anywhere to see it? Let me know. Did you go anywhere? We plan on staying home. We don't want to get caught in traffic. And that's perfectly okay because we should be able to see it from our house. So the other thing I worked on was the Meet the Makers quilt from Riley Blake. I bought this several years ago. Let's see here. Where are we at? So this is what the quilt will look like. Now I have been working on the alternate blocks, which are these blocks right here. And there's like 25 of them. But those alternate blocks, they have different colors right through here. Like that is green, those are blue. It's more like an orange. So I have these pinned together. Basically, I have them almost like a 9 patch where they can be sewn together next time we go to the sewing machine. So we got the top, the center, and the bottom. I know that's hard to see, but I worked on that. I also have been working on the next block, which they are calling block 1. And that is, let's see, this block right here is what that looks like. So I basically have all of these pinned together, and I'm going to sew these down like a web piecing fashion. So I have my whole stack here. Kind of like I did with my gnome blocks. That, and then that's the center. The next block, next row, and then that row. So I have all of those blocks stacked up and ready to sew down. Next time it goes to the sewing machine. Okay, so that is everything I have worked on for sewing and quilting this week. Let me show you my cross stitch. So I have been working on the sampler of the months from Country Cottage Needleworks, and this is March, looks like, and I finished that. Here we go. There's my March. I had already shown my January and February's, and I started working on April. I haven't got too far in April. That's where we are in April. And that's what that's looking like. So, started working on that. Now, I have a board that I'm going to put these on and finish it on. I did get some sticky board this week from Fat Quarter Shop. So, I'm not sure if I'm going to start with April or do May's, because we're already into April. Hopefully, I can get April's done by next week. So I'm not sure if I want to go ahead and finish that and display it for a little bit, or just try to work till May and then finish May and go for it. I'm not sure. We'll see. Eventually they're all going to be finished though. Now, crochet. Now, as I have been working on this big rectangular wrap for a couple weeks, it's all done. And it is big. Now this was used low pill fiber, no low pill fiber, soft and sleek yarn pink from Hobby Lobby is what I used on this. There we go, it's all done. All finished. Makes a nice wrap. So, that's all done. So that means I had to start on a new crochet project. So what did I start on? Well, I started on one of these little amigurumi kits. Now this is the last one of these little kits that I have. And this is the llama. So I've got all the individual pieces crocheted. I'm just a matter of assembling it. So let me show you where we're at. So here's the llama. There's the little face and the tail. That's just my needle I got sticking out. So I still have to put all 4 of the little legs on. Got fiber pill coming out of it. Put the little legs on and this is the saddle, what they're calling the saddle. So I have to attach that still too. Now this needle won't be in there, but attach the saddle and the legs, and then I've got to put some fringe on the head. See, there's some fringe on the head and some little fringe on the saddle. And that will be done. There's my little llama. That will definitely be finished sometime this week. Alright. So that's everything I've worked on this week. Alright, let me know what you're working on in the comments below. I really like to hear what everybody's working on. And also, let me know about that eclipse. Are you traveling anywhere? Are you anywhere? Are you in the path already? Let me know. Alright, till next time. Bye.